These tools seem to have got mixed up. Let's separate them into different groups. On what basis did we separate these tools? This group of tools is used for cooking, this group for painting, and finally, the tools in this group are used for carpentry. We could classify them into separate groups on the basis of their use or function. Similarly, living creatures are classified into groups on the basis of many attributes. Let us look at the basis of classification of living beings. Scientists have estimated that around 1.7 million types of organisms are present on the planet Earth. These life forms have evolved over a period of billions of years. This vast diversity in the living world is known as biodiversity. But why is there a need to classify these organisms into groups? Human beings have probably classified living beings from the advent of civilization. Early humans must have worked out that they could safely enjoy some fruits, but some were poisonous enough to kill them. Also, they were hunting some animals for meat and skin, while other animals were capable of hunting them down. The earliest classification might have been on the basis of safety, which organisms were safe and which ones could cause harm. They must have classified organisms on the basis of their use for various necessities such as clothing, food and shelter. As time passed by, humans realized that they can use living beings around them in many ways. They started becoming dependent on the creatures around them. This dependency gave rise to the need to study these living beings in order to use them appropriately. And to study such a vast variety of organisms, it was necessary to organize and put them in various groups. For example, which plants could be used as cereals and which ones could provide timber. Living beings are classified in various groups on the basis of features such as function, form, habits, and habitats. These features are known as characteristics. For example, green plants carry out photosynthesis. Mammals have hair or fur. Fish have scales, and birds can fly. Some characteristics are common to a large group of organisms. For example, all green plants carry out photosynthesis. Some characteristics belong to a smaller group of organisms. Birds are covered with feathers, or fish use fins to swim. Let us look at some of the fundamental characteristics that are used to classify organisms at various levels. The most fundamental characteristic used for the classification of organisms is cell structure. A eukaryotic cell has a well-defined nucleus along with cell organelles that carry out various functions inside a cell independently. For example, human cells. A prokaryotic cell lacks a well-defined nucleus and contains few cell organelles. For example, a bacterial cell. Body organization is another basic characteristic used for the classification of living beings. All body functions of unicellular organisms, such as amoeba, are carried out in the single body cell. Multicellular organisms, on the other hand, show division of labor in their body parts in carrying out the various body functions. In multicellular organisms, the body shows various levels of organization from tissues through organs to organ systems. Thus, body organization is yet another basis for classification. Organisms are also classified by the presence or absence of a cell wall. Plant cells have cell walls, while they are absent in animal cells. Mode of nutrition is another criterion for classifying organisms. Body structure of autotrophic organisms, such as plants, is different from that of the heterotrophs, such as animals. Furthermore, autotrophs are classified according to their level of complexity. Some of them are simple thalluses, such as algae, while some are complex with well-defined root, leaves, and stem, as in the case of a mango tree. Animals are classified into different groups on the basis of many features, such as the presence of a backbone, as in birds, and its absence, as in earthworms. Use of different organs to carry out specific functions. For example, reptiles breathe through lungs, and fish use gills to respire.